And we sponsored a lot of concerts, a lot of programs. I know for a fact because when Al Perlman and I started the dance duo, dynamic duo, she sponsored many of our concerts. Now there was a young dancer, choreographer, well known in the concert world, but not really on Broadway as a choreographer. As a dancer, yes. But when Dark of the Moon came along, starring James Earl Jones, Alvin Ailey choreographed the dance sections in that. And I was chosen to be in that. When it was over, Alvin asked me to be in the dance, his Alvin Ailey dance there. I was an apprentice. Learned all the dances, even up with the costumes. And this one exciting time came when somebody got sick. I don't remember who it was, but it was a trio, 3 females. And I got to do Gillespieana, a very stylized, wonderful dance. They don't do it anymore. But I got to do it. Everything was fine. And then I fell. And then my spaghetti strap fell, not as much as in a burlesque show, but it did fall quite low. And I said, well, I don't want to see Alvin, I don't want to talk to him, I just don't want to see him and talk to him. And when I actually did, I kept on apologizing, and he stopped me and said, the way you fell and the way you recovered, people probably thought it was choreographed that way. Soon after that, again being honored, I became a member of the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. And who taught me her parts? None other than the wonderful, talented, marvelous Carmen Talavalard. So I feel how honored and thrilled can you get? And again, I was honored in a different way, but I was the last one to do Revelations with Alvin as his partner in Waiting in the Water, and been gone for a long time. Not but for a long time. Oh yeah, thank you.
My name is Laura Glenn. I've been teaching for decades, but there always goes back to that first class. I was in high school, I went to Bayside High School, I'm a New Yorker, and decided my dream was to go to the June Taylor School of Dance. I got there, and there was my dance mom. I didn't know she would be, but Louise Roberts was at the desk, and I got adopted. I am ever grateful to her, and it took coming back to this show for me to realize that my first teaching class was because of her. I didn't know how I got there, but I was asked to teach. I thought, I don't know how to teach. I walked into Clark Center. I was in a small studio, had students, and I started. And this is how I learned. They went across the floor. I said, how many times do you go back and forth? When do you stop them? And then I saw them do. I thought, okay, I better stop. And then we did jumps. And I thought, when do we stop? And that's how Louise Roberts helped me learn how to become a dance teacher.
Good evening. My name is Marla Bingham. Being a dancer always had its challenges. You had to be more than just talented. You had to be the right something. You had to be the right height, the right weight, the right hair, the right color, the right ethnicity, the right something. In 1980, I was rehearsing with Kazuko Hirabayashi Dance Theater at the Clark Center. And I saw a posting for an audition for the Clark Center Choreographer Showcase. It was the right time. I took the challenge, and with Kazuko's encouragement, I decided to create a solo for myself. Well, I was also struggling with my insecurities and my self-image, not knowing how I would be received. But I was determined that I wanted to express what was inside of me. So hoping that I would find the right path to get there. Louise Roberts was the director, and she had this intimidating presence. She was tough, but yet she had a good eye and wise judgment for talent. Well, 3 weeks went by, and feeling the pressure, it was the day of the audition, and I only had 2 minutes of a 6-minute solo completed. I had no choice but to improvise the rest of my solo in front of the panel of judges. Well, I was nervous that I would be rejected, as others had been before me that day, for their incompleted work. And I would hear Louise Roberts down the hall yelling at one of the choreographers, "You can't just come in here and tell us what your story's going to be about and what the choreography is. We need to see what it looks like now." In that moment, with her intimidating demeanor, Louise gave me this surge of energy, and I went into that room, and I won over the judges, as well as Louise Roberts, with my improvisation, and my solo of the passage was accepted into the choreographer showcase. 2 weeks later, I did finish my solo. I finally realized that I had found the right something by just accepting being me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ted Berger. I'm not a dancer. Over 50 years ago, while studying for my master's in English at Columbia, a composer friend and I began writing a musical, an adaptation of an Elizabethan comedy called Shoemaker's Holiday. One day we heard the Playhouse at Barnet was holding auditions for a new summer musical. Its first musical since it originally produced The Fantastics. Miraculously, our show was accepted. It was a great success, with the reviews created a buzz about going off-Broadway. And then we were approached about having a workshop at a place called Clark Center on 8th Avenue. After Clark Center, the buzz grew even louder. I was 24, with showbiz stars in my eyes. Clark Center was definitely paving the way to an inevitable Tony someday. I don't want to bore you with the saga of this show, which subsequently bombed when it opened at the Orpheum Theater. But certainly I learned lots about myself and about nurturing people who create new work. As I searched for a new career path, eventually I landed at the then fledgling New York Foundation for the Arts, or NYFA, where for nearly 35 years, most of it as its executive director, I worked to support artists. One day, my dear colleague, Louise Roberts, who was dealing with the end of Clark Center, came by to talk to me about all of her files and their archival potential to celebrate the center's important legacy, which in my gut I really understood. We had some free space, so for a number of years, NYFA was her office home. She became our den mother and senior authority and mentor on life. At that time, there was grave concern in the field about the NEA's existence. Louise wrote and told stories about how long before the NEA existed, artists did survive. She told of raucous rent parties, of sharing and swapping clothes and supplies, of creative potluck meals, for no food ever was thrown away. Younger people listened in awe. Louise showed us all how people go on because of their passion and their commitment to their work and to each other.